Well, I guess we will kickstart here our presentation. And first of all, thank you for being here with us. And probably for the ones that never heard anything about or heard little about the walking mentorship, maybe I will just start by saying that this idea kind of turned into reality in 2015. And since that time we had probably, I think I can say this already now, 8 years later, some hundreds of walks and probably few thousands of walkers. But the good news is that we never lost anyone, so I think that's kind of a good achievement to share from the start, which probably can give some hope to some of the people that are listening to us today. But without any joke, what we want to say is that the Walking Mentorship is a service that provides mentoring programs while walking in nature. In a nutshell, this is literally what we do, and we try to bring to our programs all the benefits that we know today, well proven by science, of being outdoors and being in movement, in such type of movement. All our programs, they basically have 4 moments. So we will explain a little bit more in detail the different programs that we have. But they all have the same structure in terms of methodology. So probably now I will try to share my screen with you, because there is a little picture that I would like to show you. And I hope you can you can see it. Just 1 second. Oh, definitely. Okay. You can see my screen, correct?
Yeah, we can.
All
Yep.
right, super. So basically, I mean, I was just mentioning that all our programs have 4 moments, and you can see them here as steps. So we always start by slowing down, and here, if you think about a little bit the speed that we all live our lives today, it's kind of important because we are living really fast. And once I think I remember to hear a participant saying that joining a walking mentorship program is like kind of being stepping down out of a speed train at a very high speed. Or, well, as you can imagine, if we try to stop that train, it will be pretty much a wreck. But if you get out of the train, I know that you can do a couple of twists, but somehow, if you manage to stand up, you'll continue to go at a much slower pace. So slowing down is really important. And once we do that, actually through the walking, because as you can imagine, everybody can walk fast for a while, but no one can walk really fast for forever. So actually, as we walk, we tend to slow down. And then we can reconnect with ourselves, with the ones around us. And all our programs, in terms of methodology, they help you to gain perspective. So this is a bit of an exercise of looking like with a microscope to your life, your current moment, and then do a zoom out and gain perspective of where you are today and where you would like to be in the future. And saying that, being in the future actually take us to take action. And this is always the last bit of all our programs. So it's very tangible, I would say. It's very practical and also very rational. And this is probably where Nuno, my partner that it's here, usually refers as the sharp corner. Why? Because usually it's great to be in outdoors, great environments, nature, but suddenly somebody pulls you kind of down to earth and tells you, now it's time to turn all those insights and great ideas into action. And this is very useful because change, and we've seen that quite often, change lives in the agenda of our lives. So if we want to do something in the future, we really need to see it somehow. So in a nutshell, I mean, this is a very simplified approach of our methodology. If you are curious, you can always go a little deeper. There is a book waiting for you with, I think, more than 400 pages on our website that explains in detail what is this methodology about. But, I mean, in the end of the day, this is really what we try to do. We understand that our scale is very limited, but it's still possible, one step at a time, one person at a time, to have a positive impact in our world, in our communities, in our society. And we don't say this lightly. We've seen this over and over again. And actually, every program reminds us that it is worth it to do this and to do more of it. I will probably pass it now to some of my fellow mentors that are here. So we have with us Tatiana, Natalia. I cannot see here. Baby Christina is also with us, and definitely Nuno is here. So maybe I will probably invite either Tatiana or Natalia, because you just finished your accreditation program very recently. So you might have something else to share besides the fact that you have been in many of our programs. Please. Oh, I think probably you are muted, but I'm sure Nuno will unmute you.
Okay, let me then start. Hello, everybody. My name is Natalia Morozova. I'm so happy to see you here. So very briefly, a few words about myself. I will be 50 the next year. So I spent about 25 years in the corporate world in different positions in marketing, general management. And I tried for the first time the Working Mentorship program 7 years ago. It was the time when actually I was between change of the two positions. I left one company, and before I joined another one, I joined the Working Mentorship, and it was Camino de Santiago 2017, I think. And this trip completely changed my life. By that time, I didn't know that, but we are saying that watch out what you're dreaming for. Yeah, because at one of the exercises which I wrote when we dreamt about the gaining perspective and the ideal future, for the first time, I actually wrote that I want to live by the sea. And I want to have a little bit more free life, to mentor people, to pass my knowledge. And in 9 months' time, I turned out to live in Latvia, where I'm living now I've been living for 6 years. And last year, I left the corporate world and decided to connect my life with Working Mentorship. As a mentee, I've tried Working Mentorship 6 times, and 3 of them with my daughter. So parent and kid was very valuable experience for me. So I took my teenager girl for the trip, and that made a huge difference in our relations. I also gave as a present to my husband the trip to Camino de Santiago in a difficult moment of his time, which has changed his life. And through him, I met a lot of people like Tatiana, my co-mentor, because basically miracles happen. My husband was on the program with Tatiana, and he said, look, you've got to know my wife. I think that one day you'll meet each other. And here we are at the program of the Working Mentorship together, being the first accredited mentors. So during 6 months of a hard and joyful time together with João and Nuno, yeah, we've been through the accreditation process, and basically we just came back from Portugal together with Tatiana, where we had a fantastic, outstanding, unbelievable program year end. And although I've been 10 times before on the programs, I thought that nothing can surprise me. But I see Susanna is with us, but I can, some of the people, yeah, Susanna is with us. But what I want to say, it completely was unbelievable. And what could change after the programs? A lot of things in your life. But I suggest you to come and try it. So maybe my advertising pitch was not very welcoming, but I share personally that it's one of the most fantastic experiences in my life, and I'm looking forward now to work with you as a mentor. And I pass my word to Tanya.
Thank you, Natalia.
Hello. Somehow I don't see myself, but I hope you can see me well. There must be some setting on Zoom that I didn't press, but you see me okay, do you?
Yes.
We see you,
Great.
yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure to introduce myself as a mentor. This is the first time I say it out loud that I'm a walking mentor, and it's a good feeling because we've only been accredited, as Natalia mentioned, this last weekend. But it's been a real journey for me. First, I came to a walking mentorship program as a participant, and that was also the Route of Santiago. And I took my big sister to walk with me, and I came with a wish to, to really get our bond stronger, and that really worked out. But what I got from the program was so much more. First of all, I met some really amazing people. Then I met my mentors, Nuno and Joao, for the first time, and I really felt the special connection straight away. And talking about the importance of change and how change only happens when you take the action. So a big change happened to me after that first program, which was a complete change of career. My background lies in classical music. I'm a professional cellist, and that has been my first and foremost purpose since I was 6 years old. That's what I was doing, and I really identified myself as a musician, and I still am very much. But that was a turning point in my life when I discovered coaching and mentoring for myself, and I just started my training back then. So after exploring the exercises and talking to other participants, I got a feeling, and I got the support that I much needed at that moment to really go for it. And so I decided to go down that route and explore and start my coaching business, which I have successfully done. And that was 2 years ago. So the second time I came back to Walking Mentorship Program, again during the Camino, I took my husband with me. And by then I already knew that these programs can do miracles. So we spent a week talking through a very important decision that we're about to make, but a part of the puzzle was missing. And I think by the end of the program, we found that missing puzzle, and we decided to change our lives quite dramatically. We moved from central London, where I personally spent the last 13 years of my life, and that very much felt like home, to the south of France, where I am now based. And I can say that it would have not been possible without the support of the mentors and without this amazing feeling that you get on a program where you really feel connected with yourself, with the world around you, with the people around you, and things just become so clear that once you get this image, it's easy to make the change and it's easy to take this action, and you just see where you're going. So this is just a disclaimer that you got to be careful what you dream for, and before you enroll on a walking mentorship program, you need to be prepared that your life might change, but only if you make the change. Of course, nobody is forcing the change on you, never. So here I am 2 years later, 2 and a bit, having qualified as a walking mentor, and I just can't wait to start walking in this new capacity of mine and to start exploring new routes, possibly in the south of France, which is a very beautiful place to walk. And I would certainly recommend this experience to anybody because, yes, it can change lives, and it certainly has changed mine, but only in a better direction. So that's all from me.
Thank you.
I believe Christina joined us, correct? I cannot
Yes.
see her.
Christina,
Yes.
I think it's your turn, Christina.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi
Christina.
all. It's a pleasure to be here. I was finishing another session, and that's why I joined a little bit later. Well, thinking about introduction, it was lovely to hear you, Tatiana. And I was listening to you, and at the same time, I was thinking that we have here some common denominators in the way we connected with walking mentorship. let me tell you a little bit about my own story. I have been, interested in the possibility of joining a walking mentorship program for at least 1 year. Seeing it in the social media and thinking this looks really interesting. In a way, it almost looked too good to be true. Mentorship, that is something that I really value. Walking, that is one of my passions. In nature, it probably relates to with my background, because many years ago I trained in biology, and my life career actually took me to different areas, but it continues to be very present, this link to nature into life. And I did not know anybody that has ever done this program, and therefore it was really a leap of faith for me to call João. First time I think I contacted somebody through social media. I'm old-fashioned related to this type of things. And we immediately connected. And I remember this meeting like if it was yesterday, although it was more than 5 years ago. And I decided to join a mentorship program, an immersive program, and also went to Santiago. It was an amazing experience. For me, it was amazing for many different reasons. The first was because for the first time in 30, maybe more years, I was going on my own for a special period, having time to think. It felt a bit like a vacation, but not really, where I did not need to worry about anything. And actually at home, people were asking, where are you staying? I don't know. Where are you going? I don't know. And it felt really not like Cristina. And I was so feeling really that I trust the mentor and I will follow the mentor, and it feels perfect for me. And it was a very, very beautiful week. And it was only my first program with a walking mentorship. I think after that I did maybe 12, if my calculation is, it's about right. The second one was with my daughter, Parents and Kids, a beautiful memory, actually, where I met also Natasha and Nuno, I believe. And it was also a very, very good experience, very different. The immersive program, it was all about me and my relationships and my present and my future. And the Parents and Kids, it was really about our relationship and about the two of us. And all the other Parents and Kids, it was very, very enriching. During this period, I mean, the first experience was 5 years ago, then 4 years ago. Within my professional career, I went through an opportunity of leading a change program, a transformation program within corporate world. And at that moment, it became very evident for me the impact of coaching and mentoring throughout that change, and how coaching and mentoring actually made the difference in transforming the company and change, contributing to create and sustain change. And therefore, also leveraging on these programs that create time for me to think and reflect and learn and reflect on learnings to further learn. I made the decision also to leave the corporate world and to become a coach and a mentor. And that's what I'm doing for 2 years, and very happy doing so. And it's a pleasure also to be partnering with Walking Mentorship and have the opportunity to walk with all that choose to do these programs with us. And just to finish, we often say we don't count the kilometers, we make them count. And really, the walk is the easy part. The challenging, what takes out of our comfort zone, is the questioning, the exercises, the reflection that we do with ourselves, but also that we benefit from the way we benefit from each other, the group dynamics, the pairs dynamics, the mentor the dynamics with the mentor. I think it's very difficult to describe in a way, because each of us will experience it different, but from my experience, it has been always magnificent and very impactful. And
Thank
this
you,
is
Christina.
what makes it very rewarding also, to me as a mentor, to see the journey and the impact on others and on myself, because we keep developing and growing all together. Thank you.
Thank you
very
Christina.
much, Christina. And I guess it's my turn now. So my name is Nuno Santos Fernandes. I'm here by mistake, because my wife invited me to go to a walking mentorship program, just telling me we were doing the Camino de Santiago. So I thought I was going for a walk, but in reality, I was going for a mentoring program. The fact is, I liked it so much that I kept returning. And eventually, João challenged me to co-create a program together, the Parents and Kids program together. And then eventually I became a partner generally at the Walking Mentorship. So I have this huge privilege of walking with amazing people towards our best versions, and that's really something unique. João, can I ask you to move to the next
There we
slide,
go.
please? And that's, yeah, this is just a little show of the programs we did. I think how many programs we did this year, João?
About 30.
Yeah, very close to 30. So a lot of different programs, but maybe I will go into more detail. So we have individual programs where we have the signature, which a signature program, it's a program, just one mentor and one participant. And it can be at your pace, where you just take 8 sessions, which can be face-to-face or can be online, actually. And you go through our flagship program, the Destination U, or you take the immersive. And basically, the immersive is a 1-week program doing one of the routes we usually walk on, or a particular route. Basically, you go really into a deep dive into your life moments and the changes you want to bring into your life. We also have for individuals the burnout stress, which is a very thoughtful program we co-created with the Association of Mental Health Practitioners. And it basically brings a very light approach to this very sensitive topic, mental health. And it gives you some tools for self-assessment, to better manage your mental health, and even to understand if you might need some professional help. With group programs, our immersive programs, so we have the week-long Destination U programs. We have several ones, as you can see. Maybe I will focus on the ones we have open for this year. So the Camino de Santiago is something we do in the Via de la Plata, in a very beautiful course from Orense to Santiago, obviously. And it's really, maybe it's difficult to say, but it's one of my favorites for sure. It has kind of the magic of the beauty of Galicia, but also the magic, the energy of getting into Santiago. It's really an amazing program. We have Via Francigena in the Alps, but this year it's already closed for a full group. The Lines of Torres is here in Portugal. It connects the Tagus River to the Atlantic coast, and it goes along the defensive lines of Torres Vedras. We actually visit some of the real original fortresses that were built in the day to stop Napoleon from re-invading Lisbon, which he never did. Costa Vicentina is quite an amazing trip, again in Portugal, along the southern coast, the Alentejo coast. We do this from Porto Covo to Arifana. So it's a very, very beautiful walk going down south, always with the ocean on your right-hand side. And it's really amazing how the landscape is never the same, because even if you go exactly in the same time of the year, the ocean is always changing and it's always new. We just did this last weekend a short-term program in one of the stretches we do there, and it's always such a surprise. The beautiful cliffs and the whole scenery is amazing. And finally, we have the route of Berro Breu. This is something that you will not find marked, because it was João and myself who marked it in a way. It basically bypasses the Portuguese route of the coast on its final stretch. So usually it will go inland in Vigo. We decided we didn't want to go inland, so we just went to the next peninsula and we kept going across the peninsulas. It's called Berro Breu because on the first day in that peninsula of Cangas, we actually go up to a very ancient archaeological site, which was a shrine to Berro Breu, a god of the unknown or something of the sort. And it's a pre-Roman tradition of pilgrimage there. Then we have the parents and kids, which actually we do on this route, exactly the route of Berro Breu. And we always do it in the summer. This is one of the programs we have open. And so it is in July. And it's quite an amazing experience. And if your kids really, you feel you need help with a relationship, this can really be the ideal. And I will give a little tip. Usually this is for kids older than 8, and then there's really no limit, because then depends on the age of the parents. So we've had from 8 to a kid from 22 with a parent with almost 60. So it can be amazing in any of those moments. The Gaia program, it's a program especially designed for people over 60, and it's kind of an opportunity to gain a new perspective on what it means to be that age. Our spiritual route is the Teresiana, which is on the Meseta, Spanish Meseta. So we basically walk between, and now I'm missing the name of Alba de Tormes, I will tell the actual place, and all the way to Avila. And it's almost like a lunar landscape. It's really an amazing experience. We have here different programs also for kids and for educational community. These are specific for those groups, and so they are usually available for organizations, schools, or learning organizations. And finally, our Slow Down program, which is our short-term program, where we just create really the perfect conditions for people to slow down and kind of be able to focus on what they need to focus at the given moment. Just a note, I will get into that later. So about corporate programs, we have our one day with your team. It can be, well, one day or actually 2, depending on how deep the company wants to take it. But it's a very powerful tool to, in a very short time, actually create a new spark in a team. To go really deeper, we have the 3R, reset, recharge, restart, and it's again a circular program, meaning we usually stay in the same place to simplify logistics, and because with companies it's important to get a certain kind of consistency, and it's also a very powerful way in a relatively short time, but it really, they are 3 days, but it will feel like much longer. The burnout stress, again, it can be 1 or 2 days. It's the same program I mentioned before in the individual programs, but here it's done for a team or for some people from the same organization or from diverse organizations. Our C+ program is directed for just top management level, and it's a 3-day intensive program, usually with a higher level of demand and also a very powerful result in terms of how much people get engaged and get connected and committed to the goals that are determined together. And finally, our Forward program, which is a 3-month-long program that combines mentoring with executive coaching and also with wellness whenever the company is willing to. It's really a deep support of leading personalities, and the results we've had so far are really surprising and amazing in the sense that they really overcome what we expected to have. Finally, our accreditation program, as it was mentioned by previously in the presentations, we have an accreditation program that we just finished the first cohort. We are looking now into 2024, and we will come up with news about that in due time. Actually, this is one of the important informations. If you want to keep up with the news, subscribe to our newsletter, because there you always get the fresh news. And finally, we have our year-end program, which is exclusive for alumni from now on, and it's what we just came back from. So basically, you review your year and you really reset it to the next year, fine-tuning what needs to be fine-tuned. One final note about prices. Both individual and corporate programs are priced to the request, so they don't have reference prices. As for the group programs, the immersive 1-week programs, they have a reference price of 3,500 euros, and then we have an alumni price of 2,275 euros, which is a nice discount for our team of alumni. And I think I covered it all, didn't I, João?
I think so. So I will give the last stretch here of our walk together. The programs that we have open places for 2024 are the Camino, the Parents and Kids, and Vicentina, and the dates are the ones below. Obviously, if you go on our website, you will see that there are other dates, but these are dates that are allocated to, the full group is allocated to organizations that already request the full group. Obviously, as Nuno mentioned before, individual and corporate programs, it's a matter of talking with us, because throughout the year and now with our amazing mentors, we have more flexibility in different places, geographies, and languages as well, which is a tremendous plus. Probably many people will ask us, okay, so if I want to participate, what should I do? What should I consider? Well, Nuno mentioned already, visit our website, subscribe our newsletter, because I mean, it's a monthly newsletter pretty much. I mean, sometimes we slip a couple of days, but usually every month the newsletter goes out and goes with updates on dates, places available, and so on. So we always share that. Obviously, when there are doubts, we always suggest that you get in contact with us by email. It's on the bottom of our website, and pretty much every page on the website is a formulary that you can use, or you can just use it here, contact@walkingmentorship.com. And as you saw, I mean, there are many programs, and sometimes people look at the program and think, oh, but this year it's not available, or we don't have a date available. Well, our suggestion is always the same. Just message us or email us saying that, look, I'm interested on this program, that it's not available at the moment. And what we have been doing, we place people on a waiting list. And once we open a new date, we always contact the people on the waiting list first before we make it available on the website, on the social media. So we always have like 2 weeks at least that you can take advantage of that, and then you don't miss your spot. As I said before, if you are interested in corporate or individual programs, well, here the idea is to book a video call so we can explore the possibility of collaboration, since it is most of the times tailor-made to the person or to the company that we are talking. So we try to be more or less on time. That gives you now, I would say, 20 minutes for any questions or any Q&A that you have, and we'll be more than happy to answer. Obviously, I think you need to, if I'm not mistaken, maybe you need to raise your hand. I don't know how this thing works.
No, you just need to unmute yourself and talk. But
Okay,
if you want
super.
to raise your hand, it's okay.
All right. Otherwise, we'll need to come up with our own questions. But we would love to hear yours. Much better.
Well, I would add something, which if you want to participate in the program, if you know what it is, you just need to enroll in the right program. So in the website, you can just send us a message, and then we'll set you up to enroll the program.
Yes, indeed. Well, and in the meantime, we also leave here some of our contacts, phone numbers, email, website, and you can always as well find us on some social media platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And I think you can have some fun as well on our YouTube channel. I mean, it's not very active because we only place their videos of our programs, but I think every year you have a few of them, and that can really give you a nice perspective of not only what you would live in terms of location, but also some of the videos have testimonials about what actually people take with them. And actually, I think on the website you will find a few testimonials on each program, and I think we have a specific page where testimonials are more in depth, so you just need to expand what is written there, and you will have different types, people that have come individually, in a group, or in a corporate program.
Okay, João, we have here a question on the chat. So David is asking, are there any requirements to join the open group programs, or is it first come, first served?
Indeed, I mean, open group programs, first come, first serve. I mean, we announce usually the dates more or less 9 to 12 months in advance. I mean, just to give you an idea, some of the people that already enrolled, they enrolled exactly like 1 year before the program. So usually we always like to get to know the people that will walk with us, and we are usually opening a WhatsApp group specific for each program, where people will have a chance to present each other, know a little bit the other participants, get all the information to get ready in advance, because some people are more used to outdoor activities, some are less, so might be a good idea to start preparing a little bit in advance, but all that information is available. And also we try at least a couple of weeks before, or maybe a little bit more, to start giving you some food for thought, to start preparing mentally for the program. Physically, I think everybody more or less can do it. As Cristina was saying earlier, the challenge is not the mountain outside, it's the mountain inside.
So do we have any more questions? You can just speak up, it's okay. We don't bite.
No.
Hey everyone, it's Brian. It's good to see everyone. Those that I know you and hear about the new mentors, to meet you as well. How I'm curious on how the accreditation is proceeding now that you've had a couple beautiful people through that process, and where would people get plugged into that again, or is that more or less scheduling some more time with you guys to just talk through the details of that?
Do you want to go, Nuno, or should I go?
Well, Brian, I can go. We thank you for the question. Actually, we've learned immensely. It was the first cohort, so it was quite a learning experience, and we tried to improve as much as we could along the way. But of course, we also realized things we want to do differently, or in another way. So we are really redesigning that a little bit and rethinking the process, and we will come up with news as soon as we have it. We will for sure keep you posted, and it will be for sure in the newsletter. So I don't have a complete answer, but the answer is that it's work in progress. Okay.
Great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, and David asks, what are some examples of corporate programs that the team has done?
Sure. I mean, it's a good question. I mean, fortunately we've been really grateful to be able to work with a tremendous variety of different industries and geographies. I think this is one of the biggest benefits of such approach, which is very much industry neutral. So we are not specific to work with. I mean, just to give you an idea, 2 weeks ago we were working with hospitality business, so with actually a luxury chain of hotels, and just a few weeks before we were walking and talking with people from IT. During this year, we walked with consultants, we worked with banks, investment banks. Actually, I even sometimes forget about it, but it's really industry neutral. So what we really praise is the fact that based on a first conversation, we can understand what is the challenge. Actually, even today, this morning, we were talking with an investment bank and trying to understand exactly what is the challenge, what you would like to achieve. And then we design and suggest probably the best program that could fit that objective in terms of location, in terms of duration, and in terms of intensity, because these three variables can change a lot. I mean, you can go for a more simple approach of 1 day with your team, as we saw, or you understand that your team has the maturity and the need to be 2 or 3 days in an immersive format, which we can deliver as well.
Joe, I have a question.
Please.
Sorry, I think earlier when we were talking, I was apparently muted, and I was saying it's good to see you after so many years of friendship and knowing you. I think, what is it, over 18 years that we know each other, I think, something around that. So I was, we were back and forth in some conversation, and I've been following what you guys were doing. And essentially, at some point, my hope is to plan a trip. It's probably not happening next year, but at some point near future, I'm hoping to reach out and maybe do the walk. But what I wanted to also touch base is, we kind of touched on this activities. If there's something that you're doing in other locations. So for example, for me here, we're in Minnesota, there's a lot of nice walking possibilities, I guess, in general, that I haven't closely explored. But personally, when I need some time by myself, I would just go into, there are a lot of forests and parks and things like that. And you sort of like similarly kind of getting a sense of what you were doing, but in a similar fashion. So I guess my question is more in line with that in terms of what are your plans? So what is going on doing programming like that internationally, especially if, like, let's say in my case, I was not there yet. I was not a part of the walking process. So I get a sense, and, we talked a lot about this in the past, and maybe, part of it, if needed, we can have a separate conversation. But I'm just curious about that specific part.
Well, thank you very much. And indeed, it's a great pleasure to see you. Well, I think I can share something that we have been working on already for some months. And probably the accreditation program, it's a long-awaited dream, because we thought about this already for 3 years, I think 3-4 years. But we really needed to take the time. And honestly speaking, we are not in a rush for anything. I mean, we walk. Come on, guys, it's like 3-4 kilometers per hour. So we are used to wait and see things get closer to getting close to us. So what we've been doing is to explore with partners, and I'm now going to talk specifically about US and Canada. because so far we have been doing, I mean, these last 7-8 years, we have been doing only programs in Europe. But actually now we have an invitation to do a program in the Middle East, and we have actually this interesting suggestion to start doing corporate programs in US and Canada. So what we are planning for 2024 is still a little bit, let's say, in the making, but the idea is that we will probably allocate a few weeks to do few corporate programs. And hopefully, now I'm not looking at Brian, but maybe I am, and hopefully we'll have more people joining us, because to be very honest, you met the team, so we are very few, but few strong people, and that it's growing. And again, I think the idea is that we'll continue, as above all, to enjoy tremendously what we do. So yes, there is a plan. And besides the corporate programs, well, obvious, the educational programs, we believe that they have a very important role. We have been doing this with the international school, very interesting project called BGA, a Brave Generation Academy. I mean, they are in few dozen countries, and we are trying to follow them, but they are very fast, so they're hard to catch. But we are really trying to follow them, because we believe that some of the things that we are doing can be extremely, extremely useful for K-12 and faculty, and actually we have several school cooperations. I mean, mainly in Portugal and Spain, but we have been doing programs for universities already, I think, for more than 6 years, and the feedback is incredible. I mean, take the students out of the classroom, and no pun intended. I mean, basically we spend 20 minutes in class, and then we spend 6 days walking. And the feedback is very positive. So we do understand that this is probably only 1% developed, or maybe less, but I think it's something that will come. Yes. Well, maybe time for one more question or two. I mean, we would like to keep it to the time. We still have a couple of minutes. Well, I think I should say that even the people that try to figure out where we stay, they quit after, a day or two, because then they understand that every day is different, and they cannot just predict what is coming next. And quite often people ask, is this done on purpose? Well, indeed, because what we want is to use our local partners, location, and actually even meals to bring literally to bring you out of your, let's say, comfort zone, in a sense that everything is different. So you are probably more open because there's so much more, let's say, insights and information. So yes, I think that people that try to figure out, things like location and food, it takes about 2 days, and then they just quit because they don't get it, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but eventually we in some programs we stay in private albergues, which is a very interesting experience. But it's not. It's like a day of exception. It's not the rule. The rule, as you were saying, is that there is no rule. We always change. We always keep going for different places.
I'm not sure if there's any more questions. I can see the chat, but I cannot read the questions.
Okay, but well, anyway, I have another question here, which is, sorry, maybe I missed the first 15 minutes. Maybe this was asked. What is the role of mentors throughout the program? Are there structured exercises? What are they like? So this is by David.
Well, the role of the mentor is basically, I would say, the same in all the programs. Is first of all to be present and to make sure that from the beginning until the end, you are always supported by someone that knows the route, that knows the exercises, that actually has experience and I would say knowledge to share in critical moments or crucial moments information that can be applied to enlarge the experience. But on the other side, the room to be on your own is always there as well. Actually, it's very important that you don't feel at any moment that you need to say something or do something. Actually, this is really, really important, because this is a program based on trust. And that's how we build trust. So we are there, we are present. You can count on us anytime. Actually, to give you an idea, in every program, we always allocate time, besides the fact that we walk with everybody and everybody walks with everybody. So this is part of the dynamics. But there is always time allocated in each program to have private one-to-one conversations after the walks take part, you know. So I think if you want to take advantage of these moments, they are always there, but they are not forced. But as I said, I mean, after a few thousand people, I don't think we ever lost anyone. So that's also a good thing. I think we said that in the beginning. We are very proud of that. Even knowing that when we walk, everybody says that losing 10% of the group is acceptable, but we never reached that mark, not even close, not even 1%.
Ryan put out on the chat, but I don't know if everyone is seeing this. I was lost until the program, then I was found.
That can happen. Thank you for sharing. That definitely can be a situation. I mean, to be very honest, I don't think we see not even 1% of what happens in the programs, we as mentors. I mean, we see very little because the majority of things happen inside each person. But what we see, it's really beautiful, because quite often we see that the person comes with a question, a big question quite often, and throughout these days, this experience, there is more clarity. Sometimes it's not about clarity, it's about having I would say, the courage to make some decisions, and that also can happen. And sometimes, I mean, I think it's not really the norm. I think this is more the exception. Sometimes there are pretty big shifts and I would say changes in life, you know, in terms of relationships, job, where you live. I mean, some of our mentors shared that already in the beginning. But I would say the vast majority, it's people that actually they know. I think people know what they need. They know what they want to change, but sometimes you really need to be in an environment that change can take place in a more solid way. And this is what we really try, is to align a series of ingredients. I mean, quite often people refer to our programs as like a chemistry table of elements, right? You bring different elements and you bring them together, and something very special happens. But besides that, I think beyond, you can really see that there is a structure that really makes you feel comfortable about dealing with things that are very deep and very challenging. And here, once again, I think walking and nature helps a lot, because having this type of discussions, reflections, seated on a chair around the table, it's much difficult for many people then to do it in an environment that it's always welcoming, because nature, whatever gives you, actually it's pretty much always welcoming, even when you think it's not, you know, like cold and rain or snow. But actually our experience tell us it's part of the experience, and actually it's very much like life. I mean, if there's a metaphor of life, I think nothing beats nature, because it's unpredictable and you can only be prepared more or less to enjoy as much as you can, but you cannot control the weather. I mean, we have nothing to do with the weather, even knowing that sometimes people say that we do, but it's not true. We just like to play the myth that we do have connections up there, but no, the good weather on the programs is just a casualty. I mean, it just happened.
We have another question, which is, what does a typical day look like from wake up to bed in more detail? And I think this should be the last, as then we reach the limit of our time. But maybe you want to take this one, João, or should I?
Go ahead.
Well, so wake up, breakfast usually. So usually we schedule an hour for breakfast and an hour to leave the place where we slept. That means that usually after breakfast we have a short briefing, kind of easing into the exercise of the day. The exercises are very diverse because they go along a sequence, but they all build on each other. and they are usually based on a series of questions and invitations to reflect on several things. Can be on what's the mood inside your mind, how you are feeling that day, or different things like looking into the history of your life and seeing the highs and the lows, and the not highs or lows, but relevant, and all that. So going back to the structure, so we wake up, we have breakfast, we have a briefing, we start walking. We will walk typically individually and in pairs, and having discussions in pairs. We will stop frequently to rest, to drink water, and sometimes just to enjoy the view and really enjoy the places we visit, which are usually very, very beautiful. We usually have either a picnic lunch that we carry with us, or we have lunch at some local place that is worth visiting, and that will, it's like the typical day. On some occasions, that will be already on the destination. So maybe all the walking is done in the morning, and then in the afternoon we are already in the place where we will sleep, and we will have essentially free time in the afternoon to kind of do our own exercises, rest, and enjoy. Or if we have a longer day of walking, we might still need to walk a little bit after lunch. Again, it will be between briefings, individual reflection, and pairings. When we reach our final destination to sleep, we usually give free time in the afternoon, where either it's the whole afternoon or whatever is left of the afternoon, and then we meet for dinner. And dinner is usually a big moment also of some sharing and some kind of spontaneous fun, and then it's individual time to rest until the next morning, until the next breakfast, and everything starts again. So this is the usual routine for our programs. I hope I was clear, David, or to everyone. Okay.
There is a much better way to see that clarity. Is actually whenever, come on a walk with us. I think whatever is your current key question or focus question, as we like to ask, there will be room for that question to be addressed, clarified, worked on, or at least get a bit closer to solve it, because sometimes that's the best we can do. It's just to be one step closer. But maybe on a very positive note, I would love to thank Christina, Tatiana, Natalia for being here, and for all of you that were here. I mean, it's the first time we did this. We never did it before. So most likely we'll do it again sometime in the future. Probably better than we did it today, but this is the good thing about doing what we do. We are always learning how to be one step closer to our better version. And that's what we try to translate in everything we do in our programs. And as we said, step by step, one person at a time. And for anything else, you know where to reach for us. Website, contact, social media, telephones. I mean, we are easy to reach, unless we are out there walking, and then we take a little longer to answer, but we always come back. So thank you very much for your time, and we hope to see you one day or soon with the backpack on.
Well, have happy holidays, and all the best